Hello, everybody, and welcome to Honor Thy Podcast. This is the Arrowverse/DC TV podcast that we do every single week, where we discuss all of the most recent shows and episodes from Supergirl, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow, Black Lightning. And in today's episode, we're going to be discussing all the ones from the previous week and then going on to the next week. So, I am your host, Declan McKinney, otherwise known as DC TV Talk, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Dan McCants, otherwise known as Mulekick Media.
Hey, what's up?
What's up?
Whoa,
what's up indeed?
What's the problem with that? You got a problem with that?
No, I'm just, just getting you into it.
He's trying to cause conflict already. Jesus Christ. Is this going to make up for the conflict we had last week because of my mess up?
Yeah, I mean, because obviously that made last week's episode that much more entertaining. We need to replicate. So, if I just have a go at you for everything you say, you'll be fine.
I'll just take the piss out of everything you say then.
Okay, cool. So, but that's fine. But would you really take the piss out of the news that Paul Blackthorne is leaving Arrow?
No, that would just make me cry instead and contemplate suicide.
I know. Paul Blackthorne is officially leaving Arrow as a series regular for season 7, which is extremely sad news. But this basically confirms the rumor and the fan theory that he is dead this season.
No. Why? For fuck's sake.
I mean, if he dies, I'm going to cry my eyes out.
Why not one of new Team Arrow? Why have we got to lose the good characters?
I still think we may get an NTA death.
I have no idea what you mean by that.
New Team Arrow.
Oh, new Team Arrow. I don't think so though, because the writers have got the writers have got no balls, have they? They've got no kahoonies. They can't do it. They won't kill off on a new Team Arrow. They're gonna do the predictable thing, and like a lot of people have said, they're literally just gonna do the reverse role of the story they did in season 4, where Laurel dies helping Quentin out when he does a bad thing, and now Quentin's gonna die when he helps Laurel out who's doing the bad thing. No. I want one of New Team Out to die. I want Dinah to die, because I'm actually starting to like Renee, so I'd rather see Dinah die happily. So I'm so annoyed that I'm sad that he's leaving, but. I mean, I wish him all the best, because I think he is the best actor on Arrow. I know I've triggered you saying that.
Is. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I love Steven, and I love David Ramsey, but...
Yeah, just Paul Blackthorne, he's such a great actor, and...
He seems like such a sound guy as well.
He's such a sound guy. I'm actually really sad now that he's leaving Arrow, that he's not coming to Heroes of Villains FanFest London, because I would give him the hugest hug ever, just for
I know. Just for his years of service.
Yeah, I might just have to travel up to Blackpool to that shitty hotel so I can see him in that convention next weekend.
Yeah.
I'll do it just for him.
I mean, it's really sad. This is genuinely sad, because this is the first big cast member to really leave. I mean, Willa Holland, I guess, but Willa Holland hasn't really been relevant on the show since season 3.
And plus, Willa Holland pretty much wanted to leave since season 4,
yeah.
But she couldn't do because of her contract. So, whereas I think with Paul Blackthorne, I feel like it's just the case of... I don't know. I think, because the weird thing is that it's come out without the CW, actually saying it. I've not seen an actual article, from the CW saying it. So, I think the closest we've got is, from Hollywood Reporter or Entertainment Weekly, which are pretty reliable. So, it's, 99.9% confirmed. But I'd be interested to see whether it was, Paul's decision to leave, or whether it was Wendy and Mark Guggenheim's. Because, I feel like maybe they wanted to get rid of him because they're it's a final season, let's get rid of a big character. Because, with their control over it, because I feel like with Willa Holland, it was more because she wanted to leave for a while. So, I feel like that's why maybe it's happened. I don't know. I'm probably just trying to throw shade at Mark Guggenheim, Wendy Miracle, because I hate them.
Yeah. I mean, it's so sad. Literally... I think when you look back now, I think most of the original cast members are gone now, except for obviously Oliver Diggle and Felicity. I think.
Yeah, but no. Let's correct this. Felicity didn't appear till episode 3, and she was not a series regular till season 2.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm only saying that so our listeners don't preach on us in the comments section.
That's okay, fair enough. Just safeguarding ourselves. But Willa Holland has gone. Now Paul Blackthorne's gone. It's just it's so sad. It's really sad. And even there are some cast obviously Laurel went. I mean, obviously now we've got Laurel back, and then Roy is coming back. But it's really sad just to see such a great character and such a great actor depart from the show.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna miss him so much.
Yeah,
he has such a nice presence
Yeah,
every time he shows up.
Because the thing is, I was like watching some clips from like season 1, and it's like you see how much his character has changed. Like not just in his character and himself, but like his relationship with Oliver. Like how he used to hate him completely in season 1, and then you see him in season 6, and he pretty much just looks at him like a son. And I'm
it's basically his dad.
Why?
I can't wait to actually see Oliver's reaction though if he dies.
No,
like just to see how he reacts to
Oliver
it.
will just cry. If he doesn't cry, I will send hate mail to Stephen Amell.
Yeah, I know I will as well. As much as I love him, and I'll meet him. In fact, will these shows be done? Yeah, they will, won't they? They'll be done.
Yeah, but
the season will be done before.
US, yeah, but the only issue is the UK is 2 weeks behind with Arrow, so the finale won't have aired by the time we go to Heroes and Villains. So I'm not sure if we'll be. I don't know. It depends on how.
Yeah, but I'm meeting him personally, so I'll just hand him a note saying how.
Hand him a note. Everyone's just gonna think you're like sending him your phone number.
Well, that as well, but. Just, call me up if you ever need, like, an extra actor on Arrow. I can easily come over to Vancouver anytime. It's fine. I'll be... if you don't want to bring back Roy, I can be the new Arsenal. If you want.
No. Colin Haynes is better. I'm sorry.
I agree, but, I can be the new Wild Dog if you want.
No, I'm liking Wild Dog now.
After one episode.
No, 2 episodes.
No,
it was good in episode 20 as well. It's pretty good.
Right. Well, with that sad news, we'll move over to Flash. So the mystery girl who's been, a mystery ever since she was, thank you, ever since she was sort of shown up in Crisis on Earth X Part 1. We found out in the last episode that she is a speedster, which I think we all kind of predicted.
Yeah,
anyway.
I don't think that really came as a surprise to anyone unless you've not read the comics.
Yeah. And especially because it seems like she's from the future, so, how would she get to the current day? She wasn't necessarily a speedster. But we have had some news that we are going to get her identity reveal in the finale of The Flash Season 4, which, I'm pretty excited to find out because I think it is kind of the most interesting thing going on with The Flash right now.
It's more interesting than fucking DeVoe's Enlightenment.
Yeah, as I was speaking to Dan before we started recording, and you may have heard me say, I may have said this on the pod before, but why I really don't like DeVoe, but I couldn't figure out why, but I have found out why, but I'll save it when we discuss the episode.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to find out who she is and what her relation is to Team Flash. She's obviously related to Barry in some way.
Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah, at least a relation to Barry, definitely.
Yeah. So I'm excited to find that out. To be honest, I think there are kind of 3 options. Obviously, Dawn Allen, who's the most popular theory. Yeah. There's Jenny Ognatz, who is there, and then there's also Joe and Cecile's kid.
Yeah.
Even though apparently she's not a metahuman, but I don't know. You can change that. It's fine.
The whole logic about how she had them temporary powers in the first place is complete BS. So it wouldn't surprise me if they just turned around and said, "Oh, you are a metahuman." So I don't know. I have no idea at this point. I thought for the longest time it was Dawn Allen, just because of the things we were seeing. But I feel like the more we've seen of it, the more doubt that they've placed into me in terms of if I think it's her, which I feel like they've done on purpose to try and dissuade people. But I still say my number 1 pick would be Dawn Allen.
I don't have a number 1 pick. I just don't know. I think one thing I will say about her is that they have really done a good job at concealing the mystery.
Yeah.
This is one thing I commended the Arrow writers for with Vigilante until they actually revealed who it was. So as I made a video about it after this episode, and I was I just want to bring this up again where I said, whereas I really congratulated the Arrow writers for the Vigilante because I had no idea who he was, they really dropped the ball when they actually revealed him. So I really hope that they don't drop the ball here with this character.
Nah, it's going to be better because if it's not written by Mark Guggenheim, it's automatically better. So
yeah, it's got to be a bit better at least. But also, she's going to set up the villain, apparently, for Season 5, or she's going to be connected in some way to the villain in Season 5.
I didn't actually know this.
Yeah, I don't know if this is 100% true or not. I don't quite remember where I read this, but...
Well, if it's not been said by Paige, it's not true.
Well, this is supposedly true, where she is going to be connected or set up the villain in some way, which for me tells me the villain's Cobalt Blue, simply because if this is Dawn Allen, which... again, does seem likely.
Yeah.
Then Cobalt Blue is actually her uncle, I think. But then again, it's kind of hard to pinpoint because I doubt if they do Cobalt Blue, it's going to be Barry's lost brother. Like, it's just, I doubt they're going to do that.
Nah,
so
and if it was, we'd all want it to be Rick Cosnett, you know, aka freaking Eddie Thorne. I think that's who we'd want. So I just don't know if they're going to do Cobalt Blue. I don't think they will be able to get him back because if I remember correctly, he's on another show.
Well, I remember when they announced that season 5 of The Flash was happening, I saw him like retweeting it.
Oh yeah, shit, forgot about that.
So, you know, that's kind of like that's kind of a TV actor's hint of telling you that they might be returning.
Oh, goddamn.
It's such a small thing, but it's one of those things you have to sort of take and have a look at and go, could that mean something? So I do think the villain next season will be Cobalt Blue. I really wanted Cobalt Blue for season 4, but got the thinker. So I really hope it is Cobalt Blue. And then again, like I said, I think that this mystery girl may have a familial connection to Cobalt Blue, if that's the case.
Yeah.
But that's all of the news. We'll move into the episodes. We'll start off with Supergirl, the most interesting and most exciting of the shows. Don't you just love talking about Supergirl?
Oh my god. I bet you really, really were strangling yourself then when you said those words.
Yeah, it was kind of like I had like a knife just going into me. No, I mean I don't hate the show. It's not even bad. It's really uninteresting.
It's uninteresting, really and I don't know. It's just like
there's nothing interesting actually happening.
No, there's nothing that I can like go ahead and say, oh, I could really recommend someone watch this because of this, other than the Rain storyline, which, from the vibes I'm getting right now, it's almost like they're not going to focus on it because they've now got to set up these other 2 world killers. And it's just, no, I don't know. Like, I really want to like this season. I really do want to make...
I think it started out really strong.
Yeah, apart from like a few iffy episodes, I thought the first 9 episodes, I thought as a whole were really good. And now it's just like, it feels like it's descending back into season 2. Like, I wouldn't say season 1 because it's not that bad. But like season 2 where I just found it really uninteresting and really hard to watch at times. Not because it's bad, but because there's nothing really there that's like making me want to watch the next episode.
No, there's nothing remotely sort of interesting. Because even like on Flash, which I'm not loving Flash this season, but at least you have some stuff like the Mystery Girl and other stuff going on with like other characters like Ralph coming back, and you know there's like an incentive to keep watching. Whereas Supergirl just doesn't have that for me.
Nah.
But anyway, I digress.
We'll try and discuss this episode.
Yeah, we'll be kind. We'll be kind. So season 3, episode 16, entitled "Of Two Minds," and the synopsis is. Come on.
I don't. No. I have the synopsis. I have the synopsis for the next episodes, not the current ones.
Okay, never mind.
You forget. You've already forgot. You've already forgot this. We don't read the synopsis for the current episodes. We read them for the upcoming episodes. Oh my god, this man Declan.
Fine.
This man Declan. He's had such a long day at work. He's forgotten how the podcast works.
I know. My feet have practically fallen off at this point. Please.
I mean, let's face it. Who actually wants to read out the synopsis for a Supergirl episode? Nobody.
True. No one cares. Hey, hang on. You're missing out a crucial thing. The viewers need to know what just experienced to us, right?
All right. Okay.
We were just caught in a massive Discord frenzy. My computer completely shut like everything down for a few seconds. And everything just went down, and it happened to Dan like immediately after. I don't know what happened.
If anybody knows about this, please let us know, because like this is like it was almost like it was almost like
about.
Yeah, it was almost like my freaking laptop just took control of the mouse and was like just opening random apps and.
Yeah, I mean, this is what it's all about, you know, just technical difficulties,
I bet this is Ben trying to hack our laptops because of the fact that we're dissing Supergirl.
Ben, please.
This is Ben's revenge against us.
Right, so we'll pick up where we left off, right? Supergirl Season 3, Episode 16, Of Two Minds. What did you think of it?
It's pretty average.
Seems to be a recurring theme this season.
well, since like episode 9, yeah, definitely.
I mean, this episode was the big pestilence episode. It was. I mean, I don't even know what to say. Like, pestilence is the final world killer, and it's supposed to be like the big one, really.
Yeah,
it's
like the one that's been built up for like a few episodes.
Yeah, she's like the big, powerful one that's like survived, to the 31st century. Extremely underwhelming would be an understatement.
Yeah, it's just. I don't even find it that interesting either, and I think it's like me and you mentioned this earlier, and I think it's just because of the fact that they've not really set up any like sense of humanity within the character, like the fact that she's like already full on evil, and I find that just doesn't make her very, very interesting, because at least with the others, you kind of feel a little bit of empathy for her, and with this character, because that empathy's not there, I just find it hard to like really care about him, and. I didn't even think the actress in the episode was that good anyway. I thought it was like some of her lines I found a little bit like cringy and a bit like cheesy in places, which I know Supergirl tries to be, but it's just like here it was just, I don't know, considering this was meant to be like more of a dramatic episode, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like the whole scene where she walked into the boardroom is just really cliche.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking,
as soon as I saw like her like superpowers, and she's like got them fucking long nails, I just face palmed.
Yeah, it's a bit, given the fact she's essentially a walking disease, and then like it turns out she actually has something.
She's got fucking poisonous nails.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, it sounds like she should belong on iZombie, to be honest. But that's not a diss for iZombie, by the way. That is an amazing show. Yeah, if you haven't watched iZombie, watch it. It's amazing. It's the best. It's like the best CW show.
Oh my god.
Hey, you started watching it. It's great, isn't it? You said you started watching it.
It's pretty good, but I could name a few other shows that are way better.
Well, so could I, but it's we're talking about the CW here. It is the best show of the CW. Okay, maybe Black Lightning rivals it, but I digress.
This has gone so off topic. We're meant to be talking about Supergirl.
This is how boring it is. Right. Brainiac 5 returned, and he has this new technology now where he can make himself look human.
AKA the writer's excuse to not put makeup on Jesse Rath, because the makeup looks shit.
Yeah, people don't like it. It looks hideous. So they found a plot device to, just a little writing device to make him look human.
Oh.
And I find it weird how he kind of walks in and no one recognizes him. Like, he looks so similar. And then Win walks in and he's like, "Oh, hey, Brainy."
Yeah. The thing that I don't understand is, and this is something that a good person that we both talked to, DJ Eric, brought up as well, I think when he reviewed the episode, was why is that such a big deal? Because in wherever it is that she works, I don't even remember the place. Well, on Supergirl's Earth, aliens are accepted, like other life forms that aren't human. They're already accepted, they're established, and treated all as one. There's aliens roaming around, so I don't understand why all of a sudden, with Brainiac 5, that he's using the excuse of, "Oh, I can't go get a coffee without everyone looking at me." You're not that special. There's aliens roaming around National City, so I don't. It did feel like a really weak excuse to not put the actor in makeup. It was so pathetic. It was so stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I like Brainiac 5. He's probably one of my favorite characters this season. I think he's really funny. But yeah, it was a really weird moment, and it's weird seeing him like that. It's like in Infinity War with Vision. It's weird, seeing him in a humanoid form. It's not right.
Yeah.
And that's not a spoiler. It's in the trailer. Just putting it out there. I mean, if you haven't seen it by now, what are you doing? But what else happened? I don't think they did Supergirl this badly, but it's so just uninteresting and just so uncaptivating that it's really difficult to talk about, because there's just nothing. I don't remember what happened because it just passes by.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't even remember much.
Right, we're moving on. I'm
trying. No. We had the end scene where.
What was that?
That really poorly executed end scene.
Which was?
the scene where like
I genuinely don't remember.
No. It's where Rain, like the other will killers, come in and they rescue Rain.
Oh, okay. Wait. Whoa. Right, I remember. Okay, I remember everything. No, right. So
I remember everything.
So
oh my god.
Right. So Supergirl now knows that Sam is Rain. Right. She now knows this.
What an underwhelming way to do it as well. Like I didn't even get the sense when it happened that Kara had discovered that. Like
it's not like a big thing.
It was so poorly done. Like
is it like when she turns around, she sees Rain. She doesn't even seem that surprised.
No, it's just. But it's probably that's just a tribute to the amazing writing of the Supergirl team.
And then we see Rain kind of get collected by pestilence and Purity, and then they sort of all fly off together.
I want to say, where the fuck has Purity been? Because
I don't know.
Because we saw it in episode, what was it? Episode 13 was it? I want to say 13.
It was the episode they left on.
And then Rain went off with her, and then we haven't seen her again until the last episode. And she's all of a sudden shows up out of nowhere. I find that really hard to explain. The time distance between them. Where did she take Purity? Where did she get the costume from? Oh my god!
She just shows up in costume, and then Pestilence has one as well, and it's okay.
Supergirl, why is it this bad? Why is it this bad?
It's just
at this rate, I would rather go and watch that crappy 80s Supergirl film, because at least I find enjoyment from that, from how bad it is.
At least that's entertaining.
Yeah, this is just meh. It's the definition of meh. Oh,
I don't understand why they just can't give us something slightly interesting. There's nothing.
I feel like the main reason for this is Andrew Kreisberg. Especially this.
Oh, I never
right
thought
now,
about that.
Yeah, I really do feel like this right now, these last 3 episodes, and I would argue for me, since episode 9, has proven to me how valuable he was to the writing of this season. Because he was the whole person who came up with Rain, and he was really heavily involved with the story. So then when they fired him, I was always more worried for Supergirl, because with the Flash, he didn't have as big a role. He had more of a role in Supergirl this season, and you could just tell that it's not of the same quality. Just the writing and the characters, I just don't. That it's just crazy how much a difference it makes when one person's not there, not writing. It's just, I don't know.
And we're not saying he should still be writing on the show. It's just this is just what happened.
I find it just so shocking that the writers haven't been able to at least in some way maintain a sense of the quality that we had in the first 9 episodes. To me, it feels so different.
I never actually thought about it in that way. I never actually forgot. I kind of forgot about the whole Andrew Kreisberg thing.
Because you think about it now, The Flash, season 4, hasn't really changed much in terms of the quality aspects compared to when Kreisberg was still on it, which I think proves how much influence he had over that show. Whereas with Supergirl, you can clearly tell because there is a big quality drop off.
Yeah.
So
I'm even yawning thinking about it.
Should we bother with the preview?
No, we have to do it right. I mean, I haven't even thought much about the next episode. I know you've got the synopsis though.
Yeah, you've given me the amazing job of reading the synopsis for a Supergirl.
Well, I feel like you need a bit more responsibility in your role, so I thought
but reading out Supergirl isn't responsibility; it's torture.
Well, enjoy it where you can.
All right, so this is the synopsis for the.
Be excited! We've only got about 6 episodes left.
All right, so this is the synopsis for the next episode of Supergirl, which is episode, I believe, 17. Entitled "In
Trinity.
Search of Lost Time." No, it isn't. It's fucking Trinity.
that's the last episode.
Oh my god, this is how much I love this show. I can't even get the episode titles right.
They're all so similar.
Still reeling after learning about Lena's secret, Supergirl asks Guardian for a favour that could help alter his relationship with Lena forever. Meanwhile, with all 3 Will Killers united, Supergirl and the team brace for an epic battle. I really wanted to kill myself reading that because I didn't want to do it.
Right, first thing to note, Guardian's back. Hey.
Who cares about his character?
Hasn't been relevant since season 1. They tried to make him relevant in season 2 by making him Guardian, which was fine, and then in season 3 they just took Guardian away. So he's back, which I don't really know why he's involved. I don't really get what he's going to be, because Supergirl knows why Lena was holding Sam well, not hostage, but why she was keeping her there. Like she knows why, because she knows that Sam is Rain. So it's like, it seems like she's
drama.
True, but it seems like she's kind of sending James to like interrogate her. But then again, it says Guardian, so like I don't quite get why Guardian is involved here. Like I don't get what his place is. I mean, I don't get what his place is in the show. But
I mean,
the episode?
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that, like, I'm trying to remember now. Like, Lena doesn't know that James is Guardian, right?
No, she doesn't.
No. Like, if they mean that way in the synopsis, in that, like, what Guardian does will alter, like, how Lena perceives Guardian, but she still cares about James, then it makes sense. But I don't really understand that, because they've not really set up that, like, Lena has this mass respect for Guardian, to be perfectly honest. Like, it's only really been towards James. So, I find the way that they've worded that synopsis just a little bit weird for me.
Yeah. It's really weird in terms of Guardian, because James has basically just been Lena's love interest this season. That's been his role.
That is his story.
Yeah, that's literally it. And like Guardian is going to be in this episode. He's going to be in the finale as well, because he's in the set photos, like, because it seems like they're doing like, this massive battle in the finale, and like he's there with like everyone else.
I wonder how useful Guardian will be.
It'll like block one shot with a shield and then run off. That's pretty much all he does. But what about that big battle we're getting in this episode? I mean,
I really don't care.
I mean, who's in this episode? Are the Legion in it?
From what I can see on the Arrow wiki, Brainiac's in it, Imra is in it, and Pestilence and Purity are as well. So yeah,
okay,
3 versus 3 from what it looks like.
So the Legion are going to be in it then. So yeah, I guess it's basically should be the Legion versus the World Killers. So I guess it's like the first big fight we're getting, I suppose. Which hopefully should be interesting, but with Supergirl, you never know.
I wonder if the fight choreography will be great. I mean, last episode's fight choreography was amazing, wasn't it?
What are you on about? We're getting like cape tricks. Cape tricks are sick.
Wow, I don't care.
I was being sarcastic.
No.
You need to read my sarcasm better.
I can't though, because I get so depressed when I talk about Supergirl that I can't detect sarcasm.
I genuinely don't know which season I liked more out of 3 and 2. Because I'd say 2 is worse, but then I don't know. Like I was more invested in 2.
Well, at least 3's got a better villain.
True. Like the villain's like the only good thing though. Right, should we move on to something better?
Yes, please.
Okay, we'll move on to Flash. Because Flash had a good episode this week. Therefore, she is.
I don't know.
It was okay. It was
okay. For me, it was okay. Maybe bordering good, but like,
I had mixed opinions on it.
Yeah, like there were bits that did really well, and then there were bits that I just hated because of like the choices that they made.
Like one thing that this episode did, which I really loved, is something I've wanted to do for ages, or I've wanted to see on the show for ages, which is the backstory of Marlize DeVoe.
Yeah. That was
Marlize is one of the best characters on the show right now.
Yeah,
she is brilliant.
I think she's better than the Clifford DeVoe.
I'd rather her be the villain. I think she's really good. Like I really love Kim Emmelbrecht, or however you pronounce her last name. I think she's really good in this role.
Yeah,
and like getting this backstory about like how she met Clifford, and then she kind of had this falling out, and she went off to Africa for a bit, and then you kind of see why she kind of turned to DeVoe's side. And then that was like a nice parallel of what actually happened in the modern day.
Yeah.
Because now Marlize has turned against DeVoe, finally.
Finally, we've waited for it. It's been so long, man. But yeah, I really liked it. I would say the flashbacks were easily the best part of the episode, just because it helped.
Yeah.
It helped develop her character, but it also, like, I guess in a way also, like, develop of DeVoe a bit as well. Just like seeing the man that he used to be compared to what he is now. And I did enjoy that. Like it's a shame because I feel like Defoe now, I don't find him anywhere near as interesting as he was like for the first like 9 episodes of the season.
Do you know why that is?
Yeah, I already know because he's a metahuman and he's too overpowered.
Right, yeah, but this is one thing I mentioned earlier, right? I'll say this now. I figured out why I don't like Defoe. Okay, I don't like Defoe because he is just a metahuman.
I think you mentioned this last episode as well, didn't
I
you?
may have done, but like I have a bit more expansion on it. So yeah, that's the main basic reason, because he's a metahuman and he's just a guy with powers, right? When you remember back to the first 9 episodes of the season, he was just the thinker. He was the guy in the chair. His power was his mind, his brain, and that was unique. That was clever, right? But ever since then, he's been out in the field like fighting Team Flash. That's not what I want to see. I don't want to see that from the thinker. And when I think back to the start of this season, and I think back to Clifford DeVoe, and how he was really good back then.
Yeah, because in a way, I found him more of a compelling villain because he was just some guy in a wheelchair who was just really smart, but he was able to be like a threat to the Flash, even just with that.
Yeah, because the scenes when like Barry and Joe went to his house and like he was with Marlize and he was in the wheelchair and stuff, and he was just like the frail old man type thing. That was really interesting, and that was really quite a cool choice to go down. And then the whole storyline with him putting a restraining order on Barry and stuff, and then how he managed to frame Barry for his murder. Like that was really good stuff, and that was just him being smart, and I missed that.
Yeah, now he's just like now he's just
an overpowered metahuman. And it's just the same as any old villain the Flash would fight. And I think it's really annoying when he's just out there in the field fighting.
Yeah, he feels like a villain that should be like a villain of the week, but he's the main villain of the season.
Yeah, plus he has like disposable things that he could send out. Like he has the Samuroids, and he has even Marlize, who, can fight pretty well, as we've seen. Pretty badass with a samurai sword, right? He's got minions. So like I don't understand why he's doing it himself. And it's just, that's the reason I don't like DeVoe anymore. I liked him at the start of the season, but I don't like him anymore, and that's why.
Yeah, it's a shame because you got Neil Sandilands back, to play him, and he's really good. But it's just, with the character that he's got now compared to the character that he had, when he took that really long break from playing DeVoe. Yeah. I feel sorry for him because, it's just not the same in terms of. In terms of just the villain itself. Now I don't care about him at all.
No.
And it's a shame. Because at least with him in the first 9 episodes, you kind of understood, his perception of it, because obviously he was just this guy who was a college professor, and then he gets hit by these powers, and all of a sudden his body is slowly degrading, and he just wants to live. If they had just kept it like that throughout the whole season and not had him doing body swaps or gaining all these powers, and they just simply stuck to that for the whole season, I personally thought that would have been a lot more compelling, because it's a lot more of a human reason. So I don't know, but I don't want to go off track. I want to talk about the episode, and I like the episode because it at least gave us a bit more context to DeVoe's past and his relationship with Marlize. I already said it. I think that those scenes were the best parts of the episode. In terms of what else I liked that we got Gypsy back, but I don't like what they did by breaking her and Cisco up, because for me they were probably my favourite relationship on all the shows, because they were and it was good because they wrote it really well, and because it's not in every single episode, because obviously I think the actress who plays Gypsy, she's on another show, so obviously she can only appear every now and then. It wasn't overwhelming, and you're not constantly bombarded with it every single week like you have with West Allen sometimes, or Olicity. You're not bombarded with it every week. So I don't understand why the writers decided to go ahead with this unless the actress is not going to be available for a really long time. So I don't know, but I thought that decision was really poor to go ahead and do that.
Yeah, I think it was a real shame, because like I said, I think they are one of the best couples in the Arrowverse. I think they're really good together. And one thing I will say is Carlos Valdez was really good here.
Yeah.
Really good in this episode. Like he's the guy who plays Cisco, and the scenes where he was like breaking down in front of Gypsy was really well done, really well handled, and I really liked him in this episode because Cisco, kind of for the past couple of seasons, really, he's kind of been a side character in every sense of the word. He hasn't really had much to do, especially in season 4. So it was nice to actually give him a moment like that because he hasn't had many. So, you know, I think it's a bit of a shame that they've had to kind of eliminate Gypsy. But it was cool to go over to Earth 19 again. I like Earth 19, and we got that incredible Accelerated Man cameo.
Oh, for fuck's sake, man. We don't even see him. You just see his freaking lightning.
Okay, this is what I don't get, right? I mean, this is clearly a deleted scene, because it must be, because why was he on set if it wasn't? If they hadn't filmed anything? Because they did not need him there.
Like, I've seen some people go ahead and say, if you look really closely, you can see him. I've rewatched that segment back at least 10 times, and I cannot see a single person. I can't tell. It's just lightning.
Even if you could see him, it doesn't matter, because he doesn't show up in full.
Yeah.
And which was kind of what we were hoping. Because he's such a cool and, like, just mysterious character that we don't really know anything about. All we know is that he's the Earth 19 Flash. And it's just, you know, we want to know who he is under the mask and, you know, what he's all about. And we're just not, I don't think we're ever going to get it. Like, he's just one of those characters. And, you know, the fact he just kind of zooms off at his purple lightning and that's all you see. Really disappointing, like really underwhelming.
I think it just proves to the fact that I don't think the Flash showrunners or writers are probably listening to the fans as much as I feel like in some cases they should have done. Because yeah, they brought him back, but we wanted to know more about the Accelerated Man. We wanted to know more about him. So what do? They bring him back and they literally just have his fucking lightning. They don't even show the actor. Cisco and Gypsy, everybody really likes that relationship. I've not seen a single person online, funny enough, who's like said that they don't like it. What do? They break them up. Like, I just get this impression that the showrunners have no idea what the fans of the show actually want at times. Like, they only listen to the West Allen fans and that's it. That's the impression I get.
Yeah, I think that when you look at, you know, all the other fan bases like West Allen or Odyssey or even Caramel, it's just like they seem to just pander them a lot more and just kind of do whatever they kind of demand, which sucks because the writing suffers for it completely. And that's why the Cisco and Gypsy relationship worked really well, because it just, like you say, it doesn't show up all the time. They don't shove it down your throat. Like, it just shows up every now and then. And it's quite an enjoyable relationship. Like, it's one you kind of want to see fluster and one you want to kind of see grow, because they're both really likable characters and they both work well together. And it doesn't make the writing suffer. So it's really a shame that they're going to have to be broken up, especially because like Gypsy probably isn't going to show up on this show for a while now. So it's a real shame, really.
Yeah, I'm not happy. I'm really not happy.
No.
God damn.
Was there anything else sort of big in this episode? I mean, you had DeVoe, but he's fighting like a metahuman.
Again.
Like an idiot.
Fucking hell. I'm trying to think of anything now.
They were like the major things that sort of went on. I mean, DeVoe was basically going around collecting tech to make this Enlightenment machine, and they all kind of figure out. Which is like going to
reset everyone's brains, isn't it? That's what it's doing.
Oh, that's why I want to talk. Right. So, this is DeVoe's plan is balls, and I'll tell you why. No, it is. It doesn't make any sense.
I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, this doesn't make any sense, right? So you find out through the flashbacks that he like thinks that technology is like killing society, and he thinks society is a disease because of all this technology, right? So what he wants to do is he wants to set everyone's brain basically back to a primitive period where technology didn't exist to a human mind. Okay, that's all fine and dandy, but the problem with that is, DeVoe, you bloody run on technology.
Exactly, like when he was freaking dying in the first 9 episodes, technology was keeping him alive.
The bloody chair. DeVoe, do you not remember your big hovering chair? What about your bloody pocket dimension? That thing looks like running on technology. That thing's infused with it. Your thinking cap. Literally everything to do with you is technology. It makes no sense. I don't understand. Oh, it's almost as bad as Savitar. What?
Yeah, at least his plan makes some sort of sense. That's the only reason it's better than Savitar's. Because at least he's not trying to like fucking use a fucking whatever it is gun made by someone who will clearly betray him to fucking scatter him throughout time.
Oh, this is such a stupid. I can't wait to see how this actually develops. Because does Defoe not realize the fact that if he eliminates all technology from the world, or like, I guess he's going to be the only one remaining who is like that. But it's just like, if you hate technology so much, then why are you using it? You're just a hypocrite. Imbecile.
God damn. Man,
That's another reason I hate Defoe.
Ben's really gonna hate us now because we're now dissing on the Flash.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't, man. Like, what have they done? Like, I'm gonna ask you this now, before we go into the preview for the next episode. Do you think that this season, by the end of it, do you think it will be worse than season 3?
I don't know. I'm debating it now. Like, I'm trying to figure out now at this point whether I liked season 3 or season 4 more, because I think season 3. Because the thing is, season 3, I mean, there were a couple of bad episodes, but I think the episodes were more just boring than anything.
Yeah.
Whereas this season's got straight up bad episodes.
Season 3, I think the way I describe season 3 is like it's very formulaic in the way that you got speeds to villain, and stuff like that. It's about Barry learning how to get faster, so it's repetitive. But at the same time, the only real bad episode I would say we had that whole season, for me at least, well, the two, were the musical episode. And I know you're gonna hate me for it, but like it's just because the placement didn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, I accept that. I just enjoy it.
And in general, I don't enjoy musicals. So
whereas I do.
Yeah,
so.
and then the other one the only one I consider bad would be the finale because it was just. I think,
that's awful.
I'm going to say it right now. I think that is the second worst finale in the Arrowverse behind season 4 of Arrow because it's that awful.
It's really bad, yeah.
Whereas the Flash this season, we're not even into the last 3 episodes, and I can already name more bad episodes that we've had so far. Like we had episode 5, I thought was really bad.
Yeah.
Run Iris Run, the Kevin Smith episode, I didn't like at all. And then there's quite a few other episodes where I just can't rewatch them. Like the
episode, Subject 9, that one.
Subject 9.
14.
That one. There's a few others like really early on in the season. Like honestly, I would say that the first 3 episodes of the season, I honestly thought were so utterly boring.
Yeah.
Like
the only thing I like episode 2 opens incredibly, but that's it.
Yeah.
With the old time rock and roll risky business. I mean, I love that film so much. But
that's it. But like, I honestly do. I do think this season is worse. I would have to say that because they've tried to take risks. I appreciate that, but they have failed drastically. So yeah. I just don't know. Unless we have like 3 10 out of 10 episodes to end off this season, I think it will be the worst.
I think it will be worse overall. I think I actually enjoyed season 3 more, although I really like some of the stuff they've done in season 4, especially in terms of some of the characters like Ralph and because I really like Ralph, and in terms of like, because what I don't understand is they said that this is going to be a lighter toned season, and Barry is going to be free of everything because when he came out of the Speed Force, he's all the stuff about his parents and the past 3 seasons, it's all gone basically from his head. Yeah, he's just depressed again. He's in the exact same place he was that he was in season 3. Which I thought we were trying to get away from this.
Yeah, I feel
silly writers.
I don't know, man. It's just bad.
Yeah. Anyway, I actually got quite a lot of energy out during that rant of mine. It needed to be said though. Right. So we'll move on to the preview for next week's episode, which is entitled "Harry and the Harrisons," and the synopsis reads.
Synopsis is, with Defoe's enlightenment device nearly complete, in order to disable it, the Flash and his team must put their faith in an unlikely ally, aka the greatest character on the Flash, Aminet Black.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Harry hits an all-time low when the Council of Wealth kicks him out, but then Cisco introduces him to the Council of Harrisons.
Okay, so Aminet Black is returning in this episode.
Kill that bitch.
To be honest, I don't hate Amulet Black.
I hate her so much. I don't like. As a villain, I find her really bland. And I fucking hate Katie Sackhoff's accent. I'm sorry.
It is bad.
I watch Battlestar Galactica and she's great in that. But whoever told her that was a good British accent, as two Brits doing this, that is fake as hell. Fake as hell. I hate it.
It's like it's a stereotypical American like interpretation of a British accent.
It's awful. And I think that's what makes me hate her even more. Like, I know Ben absolutely hates her to the brim. Like, he absolutely despises her, and I completely understand why, because I'm in the same position. I can't stand her when she's on screen because her voice in herself makes me hate her character.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. So the fact that she's in this episode, I'm really not looking forward to it.
I mean, I really liked her earlier on with her connection to Caitlin, because I was like, oh, Caitlin's going to get some development this season. Yay. But then it's just never really gone anywhere.
No.
And it's just like, I mean, I'm hoping we might get some stuff this episode, because it seems like Caitlin's going to have a somewhat big role in this episode, in terms of actually getting her on the team.
Caitlin big role? Nah, they didn't do anything with Caitlin this season.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know what I was saying there. Although she hasn't had a love interest this season.
Oh, don't worry.
That's different.
Oh, maybe.
That's different.
Hey, they've improved on one area. Let's give them a round of applause.
Well done, writers. Well done. But I mean, I'm not particularly happy about this episode. Really, it just kind of Actually, I noticed an interesting parallel. This is episode 21, okay, and last episode was pretty serious in tone, and then we have this, which is going light-hearted and funny and weird again. Do you remember last season? Right, episode 20 was the episode that Savitar got revealed, and it was a big, serious episode.
And it was a good episode, except the reveal was predictable as ass.
Yeah, but then you move into episode 21, and they did that funny mind loss episode.
Oh, that filler episode! Oh god,
it's the same thing.
Now I know why you made that. I remember everything joke now.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh dear God. Oh man,
it was a sight of things to come.
Oh my god, like that episode. I don't even think that episode's even good. That episode's not even good. The explanation for Savitar is BS because they explain it really poorly, and then the whole episode is basically just filler. And I think this episode is going to be filler as well. Like, I would be surprised if this has anything to do with the actual story.
I just thought it was an interesting parallel, the fact it's the exact same situation.
Oh, God. Yeah, but think about what that could have in store for the finale.
Oh, yay.
The amount of memes we're going to make from the finale if it's anywhere near as bad.
Brace yourself.
God damn.
We're in it for the long con. But also, Harry and the Council of Wells are sort of coming back, so they've kicked him out because he's losing his mind, and so he's going to meet up with the Harrisons, who are basically the emo, I don't know, retards of the Council of Wells. I mean, I am interested. I like the Council of Wells, although I thought they should have done a lot more. Than there was, instead of just three.
I thought there was going to be like loads.
I thought they should have done like a massive room like full of, because like if you use like the CGI stuff they did with Eobard Thawne in the season 2 finale of Legends, where you just like made like hundreds of them, and just do that with Harry, I think that would have been really like quite funny. But they just turned it into 3, and I did like them, but I just think they could have done a little bit more. So I'm interested to see like the different versions of Harry in this, just to see how it handles and how they kind of interact with each other. Because all the Council of Wells kind of hated each other, it seemed.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see how these get on. But yeah, I mean, I do quite like Harry's storyline, although it is kind of meandering a bit.
Yeah.
Because it didn't really have the payoff that we thought it was going to have, and I don't know if that's the fans' fault or if it's the writing. But because they kind of gave him like this big moment at the end where, do you remember? It was a while ago, but like with Gideon and everything.
Yeah, and it's like that just feels like it was like what's that amounted to now? Nothing. It was just done purely to like mislead fans. That's all it was done for.
Yeah, it's really strange, and I don't quite know where they're going to take Harry like at the end of this season and after it, because he's kind of useless after this, I suppose.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I mean, he is just a Wells. We'll get a new one, but we'll get a new one next season. But I don't know. It's weird because I don't think Tom Cavanaugh is going to leave the show.
Nah, they won't because he's the best actor they've got apart from Grant Gustin.
Because he's so good. So yeah, I don't know what's going on with Harry really, and I don't quite know where they're going to take him. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not exactly looking forward to this episode, as you can
tell.
As you can tell by the amount of enthusiasm in my voice.
Yeah. In no words. Okay, we're gonna move over to the best show.
Yep, definitely. I mean, after episode 18, like, yeah, definitely the best. If we pretend that the season started at episode 18, and
the season's
to the end,
bloody stellar.
Yeah, and it's of course Arrow because it's the best. It is the best
episode 21 of season 6, nearly at the end. Docket number 11/1941/73, which is a reference to Green Arrow's first appearance in DC Comics. I haven't quite decided between 18 or this being my favorite episode of the season, but trust me, it's up there.
Nah, it's got to be episode 18.
No, I mean, I love 18.
Josh Segarra.
Yes, but this episode was so good. So good.
Oh my, no, like, I'm not gonna lie, this is a real, I don't know. Like, I know I gave it like a 9.5 in my review, but like looking back at it now, I might have actually should have given it a 10 because it is it's like
it's great.
Like, the only real problem I had with the episode, which I'm just gonna get out of the way, is the one scene where where Diggle and Dinah like tried to fight Diaz as he got outside the courtroom. You know, after Renee like basically like fucking roots out Oliver. And then like they had that mini fight scene. That felt really out of place. That was the only negative I had with the whole episode. And I feel like that scene was only put in there because there wasn't a lot of action in the episode, which I didn't understand because the writing was that good that it didn't need action to be exciting. So that was like my only problem, and that was the only reason when I did my review on my channel that I didn't give it a 10. Because other than that, everything else about this episode was great. Like the writing was amazing, which I was extremely, just shocked by because it's written by Mark Guggenheim.
Yeah, that surprised me actually. I remember watching the inside, and they were like, "Oh yeah, this is written by Mark Guggenheim." I was like, "Oh."
Although I should note the other two writers have also written for Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
So maybe that's why it was so good.
Yeah, probably. So this was basically the court case. This was the People versus Oliver Queen. This is the trial of the Green Arrow, essentially. This was a lot better than Trial of the Flash.
Hands down.
A lot better. A lot better.
Like, honestly, like, someone pointed this out to me, but they're, like, comparing the two episodes. And I look back at it, and it's like, I realise how underwhelming Trial of the Flash was, because this was so good. And, I think the reason this was more interesting was because when we had Trial of the Flash, it felt so one-sided to the point where I didn't think at all in that episode that the Flash that Barry was gonna not go to jail. Like, I just had that feeling. Whereas when I was watching this episode, like, because of the evidence back and forth about he is the Green Arrow, he isn't the Green Arrow, I genuinely didn't know if he was gonna go to prison or not. Like, and I think it was just that, and the way that they wrote it was far better because, like, and I was so tense throughout the entire time because you didn't know what was going to happen. You had no idea what direction the episode was going to go in, and for me, that is like what some of the best episodes of Arrow are like where you don't know what's going to happen, but in like the positive way. And I thought this episode was just great for it. Like, and it's crazy because, like, I guess you could say that this episode was like kind of more of a contained one because it mainly takes place in the courtroom. But it was so tense, like, and it didn't feel like an episode that should have been shoved into like midway through the season. Like, this felt like an episode that you would have near the finale, because you're building up, you're like rounding off the whole storyline of like exposing Oliver as the Green Arrow. Like, it was just really well written, really well.
Yeah, I was like super engaged throughout every single moment, like, and I was so intense throughout the entire time. It was just so gripping because, like, every like minute there was like a new development in terms of the case, and just like something was happening that could affect Oliver's chances, and just, I really enjoyed like the little, like, these scenes. There are these scenes that happen where he kind of goes back into this room with like Felicity and stuff. Those scenes could have become really repetitive, but it's handled so well that it's like a little breather from the courtroom, and it's really nice to get that. And I actually thought Felicity was really good in this episode.
Yeah, they actually wrote Felicity well.
Yeah, and like, although there is one of the scenes which William is in it, and this is what I have to say, because I mean I've given William a lot of stick this season, and I'm going to continue to do so because there's a scene where Oliver is like explaining to William that he might have to go to prison, and you could see Stephen Amell, he's like tearing up, and he's trying to get there, but that scene doesn't pay off as much as it should do because Jack Moore, who plays William, is just not giving him the emotional response he needs to make this scene work.
Yeah.
And I could see Stephen was really struggling with this scene because he was giving it his all, but Jack wasn't. And it's just like, because Jack is such a deadpan actor, I'm sorry. I mean, I know he's a kid, but like, come on. Like, you're supposed to be an actor. Like, come on. I need a bit more than this. Like, your dad's about to go to prison. And it's just like, and he's just like, okay. And it's just like, and you can see like Stephen is really struggling with the scene because he's trying to tear up and he's trying to like, I could say he could probably even start crying in this scene, but his son is just like, okay, and he's not getting the response he needs to make this work, and I feel quite bad for Stephen in that scene just because you can see how hard he's trying and he's just like, come on, mate. But I really did like the majority of those scenes as they were a nice breather. Also, just in terms of the dialogue, I thought it was just so well done because I quite like court cases. I quite like those kind of scenes. I like kind of dealing with those like law cases and stuff. So that was quite fun for me, especially in terms of because there's so many like twists and turns in this episode. Like you have all the different people coming up to the stand. Like Diggle comes up to the stand and he basically just defends Oliver as he does, which was nice. And it was kind of like this is kind of like what Diggle's normally like. So that was quite nice to kind of go back to that.
What, kind of out of character, not having arguments with Oliver about.
Yeah, kind of out of character in terms of this season, but whatever. Then we have Renee called up to the stand. Or no, I think does Dinah go up first?
Dinah goes up first.
Yeah, so Dinah goes up first, and then she doesn't really say much, but then Renee goes up, and this is where something happens. So Renee's up there. He's not saying anything about Oliver being the Green Arrow, because one thing I really like about Renee in this episode, I really respect, there's a really great line at the start of the episode where
I know which one you're gonna say now.
Yeah, he's kind of defending Oliver, and Dinah's like, Dinah being Dinah, she's like, oh well, why do you care? And it's a really great line where he says, Oliver's jerk, my position on that hasn't changed, but what also hasn't changed is the position he's in right now. He's in that position because of me. Brilliant line.
Yeah, because like I feel like that was like that was something that we've wanted for ages, like for Renee to actually like take some responsibility.
Yeah,
like for
and
it.
It's true. Like the whole reason Oliver is in this whole situation is because of Renee.
Yeah, and
I
think they did a really good job with Renee in this episode. Like I already said, I think on last week's podcast that for episode 20, I thought they did a good job with Renee in like steering him more towards a positive direction. Because they didn't really have him like bitching about new Team Arrow versus original Team Arrow or anything like that. Like they gave him the storyline about PTSD, and it made me care about his character more. And then this episode, I feel like was I'm trying to like right the wrongs of his character in terms of like where he stands with Oliver. And yeah. I really liked it. It was just so good, and I liked that like they built him up, and then obviously they have the knockdown where Ricardo Diaz walks in with Zoe. And he pretty much has no choice but to like go against Oliver because and I noticed this on the second time. I didn't notice it the first time I watched it, but like when she comes in and like he looks towards Oliver and Oliver like gives him the nod.
Yeah, I love that.
As if to say it's okay to do it.
Yeah, and, like when I noticed, because Renee is like really conflicted. Like he's like, oh come on, I don't want to screw over Oliver again, but he's got my daughter. And I love how like, Oliver just looks at him and he goes Renee. Like he just says his name and nods, like it's okay.
Yeah.
Such a great little moment.
And then it's like even after then when he does that, he could have just like not done anything, but instead he then comes up with the idea later on in the episode to save Oliver. Yeah. When he does that as well, like I just thought the writing they did for Renee was really good. And,
he was really good this week.
I think honestly these last two episodes they may have made me do a U-turn on Renee because I am actually
they may have redeemed him.
They may have redeemed him,
which I didn't think was possible given how far he went this season.
I'm going to say this right now. I feel like these last 6 episodes have been written by completely different people.
Yeah. Like, it's been such a weird turnaround. Like, it's just. But, one thing I will say, one of my little minor complaints of the episode during this scene with Renee is that it's not really a massive thing, but it's just when Diaz brings in Zoe, he just kind of walks in and then walks out again, and no one really notices.
But the thing is that I don't feel like he needs to, because Renee knows how much control Diaz has, and Renee knows that Diaz has control over this whole courtroom.
Yeah,
so I don't think he needed to say anything. I feel like the fact he didn't say anything made it more scary in the way, like, or more of a presence, because he's just there with her. He's next to his daughter, like so I don't really feel as if they needed to have him say anything in a way, because you knew what his intentions were.
Yeah. But that was a really great scene with Renee. He's really good in this episode. And hopefully this is a bit of a redemption for him. I mean, I guess we can kind of skip to the end of the episode for this little bit. We actually kind of have a reconciliation between Renee and Oliver, where Oliver just kind of goes around to his house and they shake hands and they kind of have this nice reconciliation, which is really nice. Like, it's just, I didn't think I really wanted that, but we actually got it, and we can see that Renee has started to regain some respect for him, and Oliver likewise. And that was a really nice little moment.
Yeah, really
have
good.
them back together a little bit, and maybe, I mean, do you think this is maybe kind of a setup for Renee maybe dying?
I don't know. I think with this episode, because they've done this, and they've kind of mended his relationship with Oliver in a way, I feel like now I don't think he will die, because I know I've already seen what because you originally, I remember we talked about this like really early on into season 6, like I think it was like after episode 9. And I think you came to me, didn't you? And you said the theory that you had, that you thought Renee was going to like sacrifice himself.
Yeah,
like to
I thought he was going to die for Oliver.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. But then with this episode and how they did it, I don't really feel like that would make much sense, because they've already brought his character full circle this season in terms of where he was, like going from this like self-minded like jerk who put himself over everybody else to the point where he comes up with the plan that basically saves Oliver's ass from going to prison. So I feel like they've put him full circle, so killing him off in that way for me wouldn't make a lot of sense.
No, and I don't want him to die now after this. I don't want him to.
No. I guess we can also talk about a certain someone who came back for the episode.
Indeed.
Mr. Colin Donnell, aka Tommy Merlin, or is he?
Well, I mean, we all knew it's Human Target.
Yeah.
I mean, this episode opens really weirdly, because like Diggle, like, because it seems like it's a flashback.
Yeah, with the color grading made me think.
The color grading and the tone of it and the way it opens, it feels like a flashback. And you see this guy just jump out of like a plane, like an absolute badass, and just like shooting all these guys while coming down as a parachute. It's like in Just Cause or something.
Yeah.
and it's Diggle, and it's just like, okay, Diggle, you're a badass. And then he kind of breaks this guy out, and you don't see who this guy is, but you hear his voice, and even then I was like, yeah, it's Christopher Chance, and it was. So Tommy Merlin breaks into the court as Oliver is on the stand. The Green Arrow just busts into the courtroom, and it's Christopher Chance as Tommy Merlin as the Green Arrow, and it was great to have Tommy Merlin back.
Oh, it was so good.
Although he doesn't act like Tommy Merlin at all.
No. But I loved it when he was on the stand and just like how like upbeat he was.
He was dead. He was like really sarcastic.
Yeah, I loved it. I really loved it. Like, obviously it was a shame it wasn't the real Tommy Merlin, but I feel like that was the best way to bring him back, and I just really liked it. Like, it was
there's a lot of good callbacks. Like, I like the fact that, he's kind of saying, he came back, he was like, Roy Harper sacrificed himself for me, I'm not letting it happen again, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like, I quite like that he had that knowledge. It was really cool, and I like the fact as well they tried to arrest him. He's like, oh yeah, my team's going to bust me out, right?
and then he just does that epic smile afterwards, just like, oh my god, it's so good. And then,
he looked good in that suit too.
Yeah, really good. And then at the end, where he, like, Christopher Chance impersonates the judge.
Yeah,
like, that
brilliant payoff.
That caught me out of left field, because even though I thought the judge was like in Diaz's pocket the whole episode, like I thought it was like genuine when he like let Oliver go. But then when he walked into the bunker, I was like, oh, but no. I'll give credit; they caught me off guard with that one, because I wasn't.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming. And again, the way it ties in, in fact, that was Renee's idea.
Yeah,
really good.
Yeah,
really good stuff.
Really
and
good.
again, going back to Tommy Merlin, like he was just really entertaining, just in terms of having him there. Also, in terms of the callbacks, I mean, there was the callback to Roy Harper, which obviously I enjoyed, but there was a really good callback as well when Oliver's on the stand, and there's that, the lawyer who's kind of going against him.
Yeah.
She brings up Susan Williams,
Yeah.
which I thought was really good. That was a nice season 5 callback, and she has the photo of Oliver in Russia.
Yeah. And then Oliver has to admit
that he was lying about it, which I thought was quite good, because Oliver, to the public, has always been, he was on an island for 5 years. They don't know the fact he was in Hong Kong and Russia, and he actually reveals that, which I really liked. I do feel like he could have kind of gave the reason, the fact that, this was an incredibly, personal thing, and he didn't really want to talk about it, but I guess he just he had to be as honest as possible in this situation, and then, obviously, she brings up the point, if you've been lying about that, then what else have you been lying about? That was interesting, but obviously I think we should talk about Laurel, because
Yes.
The redemption arc is happening.
Yes. I've waited too fucking long for this.
So she goes to the stand, and one thing I like is that obviously Diaz is not an idiot, and he just he says to her before, when you hit the stand, you're going to give her a better performance than you're giving me, which I thought was quite a good line. That was a good line. The fact he just knows that she's just not 100% with him at all. And basically, he's threatening to basically kill her if she doesn't comply.
Yeah. Domestic abuse is not good, people.
No, don't do it. And so Laurel's on the stand, and she is getting grilled essentially, because she was the Black Canary, even though she's not. But this is Earth One Laurel Lance to the public, and so they're like, okay, so you obviously know who the Green Arrow is, and she's like, yeah, I do know who it is. And then there's this great moment of conflict where she's looking at Oliver, looking down, looking at Quentin, and it's just that conflict is there. And then who is the Green Arrow? And she says, Tommy Merlin.
Oh man, I was fist pumping when that happened.
I know, I wanted to stand up and cheer. I was like, yes.
Oh my god.
So she defends Oliver. I love Diaz's face, because he's watching it on the TV.
Yeah, God.
And he just goes red. And he's like,
oh my god,
it's great.
And then that end scene where she tries to take him down by herself. Jesus Christ, that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
where she does that. The only thing I will say is surely Black Siren would have been smart enough to know that if Diaz didn't trust her from the beginning, when he made that comment about giving a better performance than the one you're giving me, surely she would have brought back up, because Diaz, in case Diaz had a back plan if she betrayed him, because obviously we found out that he had a sonic dampening device.
Yeah.
And I know some people I think came to me and said oh, that doesn't make sense. And I was like, well, it does, because he inherited all of Caden James's stuff. And I reckon Caden James, being the great hacker that he was, technology guy, would have had something like that.
So, he would have done.
Yeah. Although the really funny thing I found when he activated it, they literally used the same sound effect that's used for the sonic screwdriver on Doctor Who. It's the exact same sound. At one point, when they were going to reveal it, I was just waiting for it to be a toy sonic screwdriver, but it wasn't, so I got really upset. You go back and listen to it, and then you listen to the sound effect of a sonic screwdriver on Doctor Who. It's literally the exact same sound.
I mean, I don't watch that show, so I don't know it, but
I just find it really funny. A lot of people noted that online as well. It was really funny, but no, it's pretty cool. And then
I just talk about this episode. I think after we finish this, I'm gonna go watch the episode again, because it's so good. I genuinely love this episode so much, and like I said, I think it may be my favorite. I know you love 18, and I do as well, because I love Adrian Chase, but I don't know. I think this episode does it for me. It really does it for me. And Arrow's been so good. It's been so good ever since episode 18. So good. Oh, I love it. So yeah, this is for me. I'm gonna say it. For me, this is my favorite episode of the season.
No.
I'm sorry, it is. This is my favorite episode of the season. And I think it's going to be hard to top. I really do.
Nah, I reckon one of these next 2 episodes will top it.
I mean, I hope so. I mean, I hope it just gets better from here. But, it's going to be difficult for me to top that, I think.
Well, keep your fingers crossed for it then, because
I
can't wait.
So, do you want to do the synopsis for the penultimate episode of the season?
Yep, penultimate episode, aka The Ties That Bind, which if I remember correctly, I've read this somewhere. Don't like all the penultimate episodes for Arrow. They're like all the names of like an artist's song, aren't they? I think it's like Bruce Springsteen. I think all the penultimate episodes of all the seasons are named after songs that he's done, which I don't understand.
What, Bruce Springsteen songs?
Yeah.
That's a weird tie-in.
I know, like...
But I kind of love it.
It's really weird, yeah. So, the synopsis is, Diaz targets Team Arrow and their loved ones. And then the second part of it is, Oliver struggles with Felicity putting herself in danger when she gets the chance to stop Diaz for good. So it's pretty vague, which I did assume because it's the penultimate episode, but...
I think we start with the second part, just to get that out of the way, because like I think that... So Felicity's going to sort of be putting herself in danger in this episode, which, I don't know, that sounds kind of risky in terms of the writing for me, but that's a little bit scary, but hopefully they pull it off. What do you think she's actually doing, though? Like, I don't understand how she's going to be that full frontal, really.
Maybe it's like an opportunity like to maybe, I don't know, hack Diaz or like expose him to the Star City because they don't know who he is. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, that's the only thing it really can be.
Yeah, as if like she gets intel on him and she can expose it, but then like maybe Diaz says something like, "Well, if you expose who I am, I'll leak all this information about Oliver or stuff like that." Because obviously he's got that from Caden James. So I don't know. I don't know where they're gonna go with this. Like it's definitely interesting because I can't really like 100% say what I think this is alluding to.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, for me, it worries me because it seems like giving Felicity a substantial role, which, let's be honest, doesn't work.
No.
So that scares me a little bit, but I guess we'll wait and see. But Diaz is going after everyone in this episode. The promo is really depressing.
Yeah, that's like one of the most depressing promos I've ever seen. Like,
yeah, it's just really dour.
God damn. Like, I'm excited for it because, like, like in that promo, it's just literally just him hunting down Team Arrow, like both of them. I'm really interested by it. Like, it definitely looks quite interesting. There's one shot that I saw which I've seen a lot of people debate on. It's like a scene where someone's like the lighting's like the Arrow cave on fire.
Oh yeah.
And I've tried to rewatch the promo, and I can't tell if it's Diggle or Black Siren. Like, it's one of those two. Like, when I watch it back. Diggle? Yeah, because it's like, they've got a black jacket on, and later on in the promo, Diggle wears a jacket. I think it's the scene with him and Lila in the hospital when he's, like, shooting at something. And he's wearing almost, like, the same jacket. So, I don't know. It could either be him or Black Siren. Because, like, I don't know. Like, the darker skin makes me think it's Diggle, but then because the nails on it look a little bit long, it makes me think it could be Black Siren. I don't really know at this point, but I feel like that was the most interesting thing from it because A, who is it, and B, why are they setting like the base on fire? Because like from what I can tell, like based on the promo, it's only like a trail, but it still has me interested nevertheless.
I don't know, like it goes by really quick in the promo. Like I'm literally like pausing and playing it really quickly to try and catch it. I mean, I can see the darker skin. I can see that. I think it looks a bit thin to be Diggle.
Yeah, maybe it is Black Siren. I don't know.
Diggle's a lot wider than that.
Oh yeah.
But the fact it's a trail is quite interesting. Do you think the bunker will get destroyed?
I don't know, actually, to be honest, because I remember, like at the beginning of season 6, everyone was like, "Oh, the bunker's gonna get destroyed," because you had that. I think like when they announced that they couldn't use one of the old sets anymore, and we all thought it was going to be the base. And then we found out it was actually the SCPD. So, I don't know. I think it'd be interesting, because, I mean, how long have we been in there for now? Like, it wasn't introduced, like...
Season 4.
Yeah, like, Season 4. And we had the old base from, like, the original one from, like, Seasons 1 to 3, so... I don't know, maybe it is time for it to have a change. You know, especially since, you know, next season of Arrow could be the last one. Like, give it a bit of a reboot feel in a way.
And especially because it's not like anyone else is using this base really, except for Oliver, and Oliver's probably going to be on the run next season. So
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe this is like his base being compromised, which I guess it already was. I mean, Black Siren kind of already broke in this season. I mean, I guess that's more Caden James, but yeah.
Mm.
I'd actually quite like to see the space get destroyed, even though I love the bunker. I love it. I think it looks so cool. It's probably my favorite like base of operations within the Arrowverse. I think it's really really cool. But I quite like it just to see it blown to hell. That'd be quite interesting if they went in that direction.
Yeah, I mean, like the resources like that they'd have to take down Diaz would be like really low. So I mean, I'd be really interested for it. Like if like Team Arrow gets like everything taken away from them. And then, because I definitely agree with the theory that I think Oliver will like fail to stop Diaz and he'll go to jail. And then next season, which hopefully if it is going to be the last one, will be about Oliver like reclaiming Star City.
Yeah, and like getting the respect as the Green Arrow.
Yeah, that's what
that'd be cool. So in terms of Diaz hunting people, do you think this is Quentin's death? Do you think this is it?
No, because from what I read from spoilers.
Oh, here we
go. Because from what I've read in spoilers, apparently, I think from what it said that Stephen Amell filmed his last scene with Diaz. And Quentin.
I think there are set photos of
in the finale.
Stephen and Quentin.
So it would seem logical to me that Diaz kills Quentin, then, or at least stabs him, and then he goes to hospital and dies, and he has the scene with Sarah. That for me would make the most sense. So I don't think he will die in this episode, although maybe he could get injured. I don't know, but I would probably put my bets more on happening in the finale than this episode.
Do you think it could be like anyone else?
No, I don't think so. Like I said, I'd like to see not Black Saren. Sorry, why the fuck would I want her to die? But I wouldn't mind them killing off Diana because I don't really care about her character that much. They've been so up and down with her character this season.
They completely ruined her.
Yeah, Diggle is one that I would definitely get rid of because I just don't feel like they've done anything with him.
I really don't want to see Diggle die.
Neither do I, but I just don't. What have they done with him this season?
Oh, nothing since season 4. But it's just like I just love Diggle so much.
I mean, I do too, but I just don't. I don't want him having him around when he serves no purpose. Because Arrow already has way too many characters as it is. So,
yeah,
I don't know, but
I've had Diggle dying as a prediction ever since the start of the season.
Yeah, I can remember this because you constantly I don't know.
I was pretty adamant. It could happen. He is getting attacked. We see he's kind of cradling Lila. So. Also, we see Renee's apartment getting attacked as well, and he's protecting Zoe. So Renee's getting under attack, and then also Oliver's house, his apartment's getting attacked as well. So everywhere's pretty much, being lit up. I mean, I don't think we'll get any major death this episode. I kind of hope we do, but I don't think we will. Like I said, I think Dinah or Diggle would be a good one, and then obviously get Quentin in the finale. So yeah, but Arrow tends to do one big death a season, and that one death is going to be Quentin. So yeah, I think this is just gonna be more. Maybe someone will get badly injured in this episode. Who knows? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But this episode for sure is going to be pretty intense.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think that just about does it. That was quite an interesting episode, actually. Looking back on it, really boring to start off with, and then
and then the
rant in the middle, and then just an amazing part at the end.
And then let's not forget the Discord trying to destroy both of our laptops.
Oh yeah,
Can't forget that.
Yeah, that was really weird. But anyway, thank you guys for listening to this episode of Honor Thy Podcast. Tell me your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you have any questions or any sort of suggestions, then be sure to leave them in the comment section down below. We'll be back next week with the reviews for all those episodes and the previews for the next, which for Arrow will be the finale. So
yeah, that's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, we're gonna have this. We're gonna have the promo for the finale. So
god,
that's gonna be insane. It's insane to think about this. Seeing as this back half of the season's gone fat, it's been so good. It's gone by so quickly.
Yeah, really, really quick. It just makes.
We've got 2 episodes left.
Yeah, it makes me so mad. I also don't understand why they've not airing Arrow and Flash at the same time.
Yeah, because they're out of sync. Because normally, Arrow's not always the last to finish, but it's gonna be the first this season.
Yeah,
Well, besides Legends, obviously.
Because last year, all the shows finished, like, I think it was like
the same week.
Supergirl, Flash, and Arrow, they all finished the same week. Whereas now it's like Arrow finishes 1 week, then the Flash finishes the week after, and then Supergirl like finishes some
like
week
in
away.
June.
Yeah, some week in June. Like, so, it is weird, but I think I blame that more on the schedule and the fact that Arrow Season 6 has not been that great until now.
Yeah, but stay tuned for that episode. That'll be up next week, and thank you guys for listening to this episode, and we hope to see you again in the next one.
See ya.